My guest today calls herself the money farmer. And unlike most financial gurus who tell you to save, she says money should be planted, multiplied, and invested. Some people call her brilliant, some call her controversial, but one thing is certain, she has built a system that has turned everyday Nigerians into property owners and investors. Now, today on Jay on Air, we're going behind the brand, beyond the titles, and deep into the mindset of the woman who believes money should work harder than humans. Ladies and gentlemen, Grace Ofure, the money farmer, is live on Jay on Air. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
It's so
I'm so glad to have you here. I know that this has been a long time coming. You've been very busy this past 1 year, like you said. I said a few weeks, but you said this past 1 year.
Yeah.
So what is a typical schedule like for you? Because I know that you've been quite busy.
I just get things done. If it's going to happen, it should just happen. There's no time to wait.
Yeah.
Just get things done. So I wake up in the morning, have my quiet time, plan the day as long as it's productive. It's going to help people. It's going to make them feel better. And off I go.
Off you go. You become such an important figure when it comes to property and money and finance and all of that. And I know that you've been doing this for a long time. But this past couple of years, more people are becoming more aware, and also because of your social media presence. But before we get into that, let us talk about the before all of this happened. How did this journey start for you? I know that you grew up in Edo State, and then you went to University of Bendel at the time, now Akoma University. Talk to us a bit about that time, and if you envisioned that this was going to be your life while you were in Edo State.
I don't think so. I think when I was in school, I just wanted to be a better person. I just wanted to be able to make ends meet. Coming from a background, there are values. There was not a lot of money, so we felt like kids that we are not really privileged. So I haven't gone to Edo State University. I read a course. I think Biz at me because I thought my mother was a trader and I just wanted to be a business person. Well, visited Lagos twice before my NYC, and I wanted to become maybe a banker. Because I love the idea. When I went to Victoria Island or Ikoyi then, I see some nice looking ladies at the back of some good cars, and there is a driver in the front. So I think my major desire was just to be a career woman, just sit at the back of the car, just get things doing. So I wanted Lagos. I prayed about it, and I was sent to Lagos, but only for me to get to Lagos, the whole story was different.
All right, sorry for that break in transmission. I'm sure you're enjoying today's episode with the one and only money farmer, Grace Ofure. But I want you to know that we're taking sponsors and advert placements right here on Jay on Air. Whether on radio or on YouTube, you want to be a part of this conversation. Millions around the world are learning from the conversations we have here in politics, entertainment, and of course in business. You want your brand to be side by side some of these important opinion leaders. What you need to do is send an email to jayonairbusiness@gmail.com today to be a sponsor, to have your address placed on the show. Again, jayonairbusiness. People want to hear and see your brand. Why don't you get involved today?
I haven't come from the village. I really did not have people in Lagos. But NYC camp was beautiful. So they sent me to Nigerian Port Authority to become a copper. Yeah. But when I got there, they said I was in space, and it was either of two things. Either I go back to the camp and try to redeploy me somewhere else. I was told that if I try that, they'll take me to a forest, maybe down, or I don't go back and just find somewhere for myself. So I just made up my mind and said, okay, two things. Then I go and look for a place for myself, or I just go back to the village. But going back to the village wasn't the dream. I wanted to be a career person. I wanted to be better. I always had a dream in me that I wanted to just do things that people couldn't do because they lacked money. You know, I remember then my mother would say money doesn't grow on trees. So why we're not able to do this? But she was very loving. She did a lot of things. And my father was a teacher, but I lost my father early, I remember. And my father knew that I was different because he told me that I was the only child he bought a calculator for because I was forward thinking, you know, so everybody should use their brain. Me, I was like, let's just get a calculator and just answer this question once and for all, you know. So he saw some potentials in me, so he was very interested. But along the line, I lost him. So my mother had 10 of us to take care of.
10
of us, and my father had another wife with 3. I didn't even know. I think I was about 20-something before I knew they were not my mother's kids.
Wow.
So we're a very big family. So I haven't left that village. I wasn't ready to go back. In as much as I was the second to the last child, I just felt that I had a solution. So I went to look for a primary assignment. I think I was just thinking so fast. And I asked that, I can't come to Victoria Island from Agege every day. So just give me the street that has a lot of companies. And so they said, somewhere then it was at Jose Adioku. So you had the Zenith Bank, you had Southern Alliance, you know. And by the time I walked from the first roundabout, before I got to the end of the roundabout, I got a place to stay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? Were you just going and
No, just going and from one place to another. I got to Unity Bank or thereabout. They said no banks, you can't even come in. They're not interested. I got to Zenith Bank. Then Zenith Bank had an insurance company behind it. So there was a street in front and behind. So when you move one street, I think where you have the Italian embassy down, where I go to take my Italian embassy. So after that place, I'll enter into that street, come out from another street. Then I finally got to Standard Alliance. It was an insurance company. So the secretary said they've taken some coppers. But I was looking so tired. And she just felt for me. I said, okay, let her just add my own paper
to it
that the bus will come like 5 p.m. if I can wait. And if I leave VI by 5, when will I get to Agege? So I stayed. And I think that when he came in, he saw me and my paper was on top. So when he was choosing, like, just send them a letter, let them just come and serve, I was just favored. And the girl rushed out and he said that you can come and serve here. So after doing that primary assignment, it was a Standard Alliance company. It was an insurance company, and they did a lot of marketing. And I think that's where I started to see that it's possible to make money. Because every Monday meeting, they were scared. I wasn't scared. Because for you to come to Monday meeting, you have to bring results. And I was very excited because my boss was sitting at the back of the car. And so I wanted to sit at the back of the car. But 6 months into my service, I was told that they were not going to retain coppers. Apparently, they were trying to reduce their staffs and they were not going to retain coppers. So I had to think very fast. So one of the things where I discovered that where I lived, that's where I buy clothes from.
Yeah.
So I used to go and buy fairly used clothes from Katangwa markets.
Yeah.
And so because as a copper, I wear only my copper showing uniform once. And I had to dress 5 times looking at I was in marketing. So that was the only place I could afford to buy clothes. So when they say you're not going to take me, I also know that there are a lot of girls in my area. So I just started to pitch them that they didn't need to go to the market. I'll go for them. And I was a graduate. I didn't even care. So I go to the market, buy the clothes, or sell very early in the morning when they are opening the bill, then make some money from those guys. Because that's why when I go to Lagos market, I like to help those guys. Because what they actually do is just bringing people to you. And when they are going, whether you like something, they say, no, I just want to show you something. No, they'll give you money. I've done this business before. So I use that money to pay for the ones I kept. Then I'll take it outside of the market. So I noticed that anytime I take it outside, I make like 500%.
Wow.
So I saw another opportunity there. So I was trading on the market. I just started to trade on that. I just made up my mind, like, do you know what? This is okay. Let me just start selling this.
So after you had left, you finished your NYSC year, you were not retained.
No.
And so you just went full into selling this fairly used Okrika clothes.
Okrika, yes.
And how long did you do that for?
I think during that time, and I fell in love and married. I think I did it for like almost 4 years. But in between it, I now rented a shop.
Okay.
So I wanted to be able to multiply my efforts. So I had a shop in Ogba, Thomas Alako. So I keep some of the clothes there. Then I hawk some of the clothes. Then when it's late, I have to come back there, open the shop so that those guys that went to the office, on their way back,
okay.
So I'm trying to multiply my time. Then I'll now sell in the evening. So that was what I was doing. But basically, something happened to me along the way. I had a baby. I left the baby at home. Then they called me from the shop that she ran into hot water. And she was badly
burnt. Wow.
But sometimes you just look at life and you just say, you know what? We have to do what we have to do. So in as much I was there, I was in that shop, I was still looking for something better. That's what I tell people. It doesn't really matter where you start. It's just a starting point. Don't close your mind, your eyes for something better. It's just a transition. So every time that I was there, I was always looking for something better. Then I had to start taking her to the shop. So when I started taking her to the shop, I had to first of all take her to, then I added Vespa. Vespa, they sell the bags and shoes.
Yeah.
Then Katangwa, they sell the clothes. So it's not a full business. So I go to Vespa. On my way back, I stop in Katangwa. Then I have to carry her like that. Then I think one day, it just dawned on me when they stole my money in that shop, that there were some people that their situation was even worse. And that's why I tell a lot of people now that most times when you see people, maybe they fall on the ground, the first thing you shouldn't collect is your phone. Because I remember that because the people say, don't kill yourself, they gave me hope. But that's not what I see now. When things happen on the street, all of us are taking a phone because we want content. But then a lady started screaming and said, don't kill yourself because of your child, And from crying, I started laughing because I could picture my years. I think that day changed my life. Like, you know what? I really need to change this, And so I had bigger dreams. I from lying on that floor, started to laugh and people thought I was going crazy, was a picture of this grace I see. Because I then started to see myself in another light. Whatever you don't see, you can never achieve. So every day of my life, I was looking forward to that picture I saw that day.
Even in your lowest point, you had a situation where your daughter got brought. You had to start taking her to the shop, and then the money that you were putting in that shop got stolen. And you were thinking that, this is a very low point for me, but I can still see a bigger.
Because I saw a picture. In your lowest point, there's a picture that flashed, 2 pictures. One picture was just big picture. The first picture I saw was I saw myself carrying my kids, like one in the back, 2 in my hand, like a very poor woman. That's the first picture. Because then I started learning the word of God. Then I saw another picture, flying private jets. And so I decided the picture I wanted. So instead of seeing that one and crying more, I saw the other one, I started laughing. So the problem was not like, has she gone mad? No. So inside that picture, I just made up my mind that, this picture that I've seen, I'm going to work it out. So every step I've taken in my life, I'm still working out that picture. And one of the pictures was that I was going to stand in auditoriums where people will hear me and their life will be totally changed. And that's why I'm very busy. Because I'm everywhere telling people that you don't need any connection. You don't need anything. You just need you to believe in you, and that's it.
Let us move a bit further from, you did that for 4 years. So after that happened, did you go back to the shop and continue business?
I went back to the shop to continue. But, there are businesses, because now I train people in business expansion strategy. There are businesses that can never make you become what you want to be. Doesn't mean you shouldn't start the business. So even when I was there, I was still searching. So I entered into one time painting. So I went to people's shops to paint in the night when they're sleeping in Computer Village.
You're painting yourself, or you had to?
No, I paint myself. I climb up and paint like that, because if I hire somebody, it's going to reduce my money. So it was called marble paint. I did a lot of shops in Computer Village. From there, I moved to the island. I started to paint. Then from there, I started to think of how to own a paint factory without having a factory. So I talked to people that had factories. All I needed to do was to bring my buckets. I put my name on the bucket, they fill it up, I come to Lekki, it looks like I have a factory. So, but I still knew that for me to get to where I am, I have to paint like 500 or 5 million houses.
Yeah.
So that picture kept me thinking for more. Then I ran into somebody and I saw her phone. And that's why I always tell people that not every young lady is a prostitute. Not every young lady is lazy. So don't allow the things that you could have asked questions become a problem for you by judging them. I didn't think that the only way to make money was to do stupid things. So I asked her, how did you get phone? We graduated together. She said she was into real estate.
Do you remember the phone she was using?
She was using BlackBerry. Yeah, it was BlackBerry because that was the biggest deal. And I'm like, how did you get the phone? Because we graduated together. I was using maybe one touchlight or something like that. So she told me that she was into real estate. So that day, I just dropped my load and I sat with her to learn from what she was saying. I said, so real estate can give you this kind of money. So she told me, then she now brought her iPad, this phone that looks big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. I said, this real estate, I have to learn it. But I didn't stop my business. Sometimes you just quickly stop. No.
So while you were learning, you were
While
still
I was
doing.
learning, I was still doing my business. But I saw possibilities in real estate and I saw problems in real estate. So she told me about investment, which is one of the things also that in business, if you don't have a picture, you will give up. Because when I invested in real estate, I brought the concept of let's do it together. But when I started my company after 15 years, I didn't remember that doing it together was because we couldn't afford it, not because somebody cannot afford it. So I'll tell you why I said that could have even ended my business. But the picture, I still have where I'm going. So we bought something around Chevron. And the money we use in buying it, in 3-4 years, it grew so, and I'm like, wow, I have to do this business. But when I started, thinking that everybody has the mindset of farming money.
Okay.
When the people now hear that the property is now ×2, they say, Grace, it's time to sell. And I'm like, you can't sell. So, but you say you sold. It's even recently that I started to understand that where I was working, where I bought, there was scarcity. Right now, there's no scarcity in Epe. So if you buy a land in Epe, you buy a land in Bejuleki, there's no scarcity. So you have to wait for 20, 30 years. And when you don't have that 20, 30 years, it becomes a problem. Why? Because when you start a business, you might not know everything about the business. Doesn't mean you shouldn't continue. You learn on it. The most successful people are people that just get it done. Whether it's going to cost you problem, whether it's going to make you move forward. But now, a young person coming to real estate that I'm mentoring now will not make that mistake. Somebody has to be the lamp.
Yeah.
So it's just, I saw the possibility in real estate. Then I saw the loopholes in real estate. Because everything that has profit has fake. So what did I start to do? I went into training. And once you meet a good doctor, you tell the doctor to prescribe. That was exactly what happened. So everybody wanted Grace Ofure because one, they saw the sense of knowledge. I started an online something, teaching people how to invest, how you can be scammed, just teaching. And before the people started asking me, like, will you help us to buy? Will you help us to do this? Then I moved into, okay, let me help one person, 2 people, before then I gave birth to Lifecard. But what I would say is that I actually served real estate companies for over 18 years before I started my company. And that helped me to grow very fast.
So how important then is, serving? Because now you open your company. When you tell people the experience that you've had, when people hear that Lifecard started in 2019.
Yeah. How did you know?
When they find out, they think that maybe Lifecard started way before. Why did you wait that long to start that company, seeing that you had all that knowledge?
Yeah, because I think that really solving a problem is what is so important. It's not running a company. And the only reason why I even finally started a company was because the owner of the company I'm working for is not as true as I am. I'll give you, that's why. Left for me, I was just meeting a need. And not having a company didn't make me poorer. So I tell young people that you can actually save and be very wealthy. The numbers I did not own a company, you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a company I'm working with in Dubai. I don't own. I'm just an underwriter. My figures are not here. So I even prefer it. But the only thing that is making me work with them because their structures are strong.
Yeah.
Their currency has never devalued for 35 years. So their years can be their years. But Nigeria, it can't happen because you can buy cement today and tomorrow. So I really started a company because I discovered that some people that I was working for were failing me. So what I said and what they finally did didn't work. So, and I said, okay, if I do it myself,
you get the results you're looking for.
I'll get, not because, so that's the way, that's what I want people to hear. You don't really need to. Service can give you as much as you want. And for the last 3 years, I've proven that again. By serving another company outside of Nigeria. And I'll tell you, the numbers are better than what I ever did in Nigeria.
I want to ask this question because you've spoken a lot about serving and service. And even though you started your company, you are still serving in another company, another capacity. Do you think we have an issue with this generation where everybody wants to be a leader? Everyone wants to be a CEO, an entrepreneur, and they want to own, they want to carry that label out, CEO and founder. We've seen that a lot of companies have started in Nigeria and a lot of companies have failed. Do you think that is an issue?
It's a very big issue. And that was why I wrote a book called 9 to 5 is not a scam. Because it's the concept we grew up with that once you are working for somebody, you are a second fiddle. That person. So if you go online and write 9 to 5, everything about 9 to 5 is bad. But it's not, because even having that kind of mindset, you bring that energy to work. So you might not get the best value from that place. Then also, the entrepreneurs themselves that are employing people should also look at it from another angle, that these are not your slaves. These are people that also have their ideas that can become a leverage for you. Like I tell people, a tree can become a forest. If I own one company today, if I have 10 good guys, what I'm going to do is that they are going to just fly on my shoulder and start up something, and will now own 10 companies. So instead of owning one, I finally own 10. I started with like a media company, and it worked. Because many people that come to your office to work, that might not really be their idea. As a leader, you must discover what their passion is. And I know that it's not all of them that will have that sense of understanding you, but you just have to try. And that is why we don't really get people. I hear that a lot of people cannot be employed because everybody wants to blow. But I tell people that if you blow without training, you will unblow. The truth is, a lot of people I've seen make a lot of money, and I am not seeing the money again. You know why? Because they didn't really understand the concept of money farm. Even service is farming money. Because what's money? What's money? When I say I'm a money farmer, it's value. Money is different from currency. As long as you can farm your value, currency will always come to you. So even as a staff, what value do you have? I tell my staff that, you know my turnover. If anybody here says he can do times 20, become the CEO, I want to sit at home. Because why are you really in business? No, why are you in business? Is to help somebody else. When it comes to what we do, I will only be making money when I'm making money for others. So it automatically means that if I'm making a lot of money, others are making so much money. So if you can now say, Grace, don't worry, let me take your seat today, and I will make our customer make more money. The way I will stand up.
So it's not about, for you, it's not about occupying an office.
It's not. It's about value, and it's about results. It's about results. So unless you are saying that I have put it, so that's why I say it anywhere, so that even my staffs can hear me. And if they say, oh no, she's lying, we're on social media, spill it out. No, spill it out. I'm serious. Because if you see it like that and you have a boss like that, they will want to outdo you because you are ready to allow them to fly. And that's everything I wrote in the book. Then for the staff, come in with the mind of, this place is a work to make me a better person. So service, to be a king, you have to first of all serve. And there's so many things that you will learn if you don't serve. You will make a lot of mistakes, you know. So even me, I'm still serving. And service is you continue to serve. You are serving the people, you are serving the customers. So just get used to serving. It's not a problem. And so most of the problems we have is still pride. And pride would never make you go very far. You can go far, no, but not very far.
All right. One question that I want to ask is still on real estate, because I know that you that is your mainstay. There are a lot of real estate scams in 2025. You know, we're seeing so many things happen. We're seeing the government, a lot of demolition work happening. And people saying, I bought land here, or we're seeing so many stories. I remember a lady's story. She said she bought a land. They were supposed to have bought a property. They're supposed to have built the place in 3, 4, 5 years. And till now, they are still owning them. And it's 6, 7 years. Why do you think this is
7 years? That's even good. So I'm even very excited you brought me to this show because I also have my story. I will tell you the truth. I've been in real estate for more than a decade, and I've gone through all the process in real estate in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. So I've done the business myself. It's very lucrative, but if you are a greedy person and you are not thorough, things could happen that you did not plan. It should happen.
Sure.
Have I gotten bonds? Yes. Am I ready? If there's anything I will do about podcast, is to start a podcast on real estate. Why? Because I think that with what I have gone through, it's going to help the next person, whether an investor or, because one thing that I do to myself is to tell myself the truth. Like 4 years ago, I stopped selling land in Lagos. Like I stopped buying. So even if I was still selling, I stopped acquiring because I saw something that was not going to work. And I'm happy you are asking that question. Number one, when we came into real estate, you could buy a land and leave it for 20 years. So when we started selling, that was the concept that we had, that you can buy a land, it's called land banking. But 3-4 years time, Lagos is no longer like that. And Lagos has a rule that says, if you don't develop, they can revoke. So you now say, Grace, you told me it's land banking. No, but I didn't know that 5 years time. Because I don't know what I don't know.
Yes.
After all, Freedom Way, I saw the man, listen, because I'm on air. The guy that owns Freedom Way, I have his papers when I wanted to sell it. The guy has owned that property for over 32 years. I knew how much he bought it, and I knew how much he's selling it. But guess what? The growth in that 30 years is not the growth we have today. Because the awareness of land banking now is not like before. There was no social media. So people were not really buying. So the development is faster now. So using the concept of before to buy, that's where the problem is. That's one. Then number two, Lagos State has a lot of things they are doing now. So they can come up tomorrow and say, this particular place, because of government needs it. But the truth is, let me tell you the truth. As long as your land has proper documentation signed by Lagos State and they want to take it, they will compensate. You are going to win. Because as long as it's not revoked, as long as you have proper documents. But then a lot of people bought in speculation. We are going to go and get the document. But now the place is developing very well and they're not ready to give documents like that. That's one. So young people should know that the way we did it 14 years ago, it can't work now. The way you have said social media have changed things. Social media too have changed businesses because people in America didn't know about property profit. But through social media, YouTube, everything, everybody's talking about. So you can see, don't think that strategy that changed for your good is not also going to change for your bad. So why did I stop? I noticed that people that are buying the property, because of the price of the property, we promise them just to do the fencing. But they never come to add beauty because adding beauty to the land is more expensive than what they bought it for.
Buying the land, yeah.
Because if you're going to do a road in an estate that is in Ibejuleki or Epe, it's going to cost you like ×5 of how much you used to buy the land. Who is going to do that? So it's still a bush. And tomorrow anything can happen. So instead of me looking at the profits, this is why I stopped. And saying that it doesn't really matter because if you take me to court today, all my lands have documents. So if Lagos State is saying there's no development, they are taking a decision, the court will tell them, she bought it right. Do you understand what I say? But that will be selfishness for me because of the money I'm making. What did I do? I stopped. Because the more I am selling, the more people might get into, because I had called people, come and fence, come and do a boy squatter, brother. When they hear the amount, a land they bought for 5 million to put it together, they need another 25 million. They're not going to do it. So I said, instead of me to continue like this, there must be another strategy. And what's the strategy? Maybe 20 people to come together and do an estate and wait for who can buy it. Because if you also do it like that, a lot of people cannot afford it. Then let's talk about the one you are saying. Demolition. I will tell you the story that I can tell you. Before I put any house and build in Lagos, I go for approval. Approval is difficult to get, but at least going, they would tell you, you're either on Costa or you're not on Costa. There was a particular property, I spent money. I have done the sound feeling because I have to start selling it before I can build it. Because now I don't have a lot of money. That's the idea. So I put some money to make the place look good. But before I will go and dig the ground, I went to Lagos State. They told me it was Coastal Road. No, it's back of Chisco. They told me, no. I said, but sir, there's a house here. There's a house here. The only land that is left, he said, it doesn't matter. One day is one day.
You would demolish those houses?
Those houses will go. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to back out of this transaction. My brother, 3 months later, there was a Gangantua house standing there. I looked at the house. Some people told me, actually, you are going to sell it now. And I'm like, I was poor. Very poor. I can't stand knowing that whether I'm alive or I'm not alive. That somebody gave me money to farm and the person cried. Nah. I will go back to Okrika. And then I will go and do another thing. I will still make money. So when a house was standing, like even the project I wanted to do was too small compared to a house.
That same place that the government said.
That same place where they told me is a coastal road. So who built the house? Did the person get to Lagos State? That's one. So what the government was supposed to do was to come on time. So will I say because they will not come on time?
You will still build there?
Because sometimes we'll say, there's even one they are demolishing now. The government regulation office is in the front. Was the government not there when they were building? No. It's like when you go to America, they tell you this is, if you turn like this, if you turn, they will even tell you don't turn. In Nigeria, they will not tell you anything. When you turn, they'll catch you. So when you're in a place that they want to catch you, you have to be smarter. Because they will definitely catch you. That's what. So, the house is not ready. I mean, that's matter now. I will even come on air when the house is not ready. I'm going to not open the house until the 5th of this month. The house was paid for when dollar was 320,000 per dollar.
320 naira per dollar.
Dollar went to 1,500. And a customer says, that is your business. You know, you are growing in business.
Yeah.
Customer insulted. Customers, they are always right. But sometimes, I just feel that as a human being, if sometimes I could feel pain and I say, so especially people in Nigeria, they understood. But people that in diaspora, they said, what they don't remember is that the way they are using to compare us is not the same thing.
Yeah.
So, is that going to bring growth in business or make me stop business? No, it brought growth. So, I made up my mind and said, never again. I will never sell a project I've not finished constructing. Then what will happen? So people cannot buy it, brother.
Because it's obviously going to be more expensive.
And now I don't even care. So it's business glut. So the younger generation, I have a story to tell them.
Yeah.
That it's better for 5 of us to put our monies together, do one project and share the profits, than to have the biggest nightmare that is not your problem. 6 months later, the government is doing that road. So you can't even carry trucks inside. They don't care. So if it was my project, I don't also care. The 6 months I've wasted, I'll calculate its cost of fund of the money. I'll put it on top of the price. So sometimes in a growing economy, in as much as there is so much profit, we should also know that there is so much problem. And it's either you are ready to work it out with the problem or you say never. So I've gone through the entire real estate space. I've also seen money devaluation. So I have planted money in Nigeria. I've seen how it went. So I'm planting now internationally. But I'm saying, you grow your money here first.
And
don't come to me. Because I've been in this thing for 2 decades. And one thing that I didn't do is I didn't spend money. I kept farming money until the money has made at least 10 times. So I don't buy anything that I cannot afford on the spot 10 times. So if I wear anything, know that if I want to buy it, I can tell you and the particular money that bought it has produced the money 10 times. It's a lot.
You know, we live in an economy where like you said, Naira is devalued. I was watching a video today and this man was saying that he has been wanting to buy a car, you know, and then every single year that he waits, money is getting on top of it. But now you're saying that if you cannot afford it on the spot 10 times, you should not go for it. But we live in a country where, especially for the young people, you know, we cannot compare years ago, like you rightly said, to what it is now. What then is the hope for the young person that maybe wants to buy a small car on the road just to move around?
Increase your value. You talk about the person has money for one. Yeah? I'm saying have money for 10 times. That automatically gives you a sense of, I have to do whatever I'm doing 10 times. You said I'll be very busy. Do I look like somebody that should be busy? Huh? Brother, if I don't work again, I don't need to work. But because of this principle, it's called delayed gratification. So for me to be able to do it 10 times, I have to do whatever I'm doing 10 times more. So if you cannot afford a car, why can't you afford a car? Why are you? So it's a value thing. See, I'm not from the school of thought that anybody in this age can be so wealthy, because this is another age. It's called information age. I don't need distribution channel. How did you know me?
Social
media. If you understand the concept of money, now people should farm their value. But you're in a hurry. If I want to do something with a young person, I say, come and pay me. No, I don't tell you to come and pay me. I take from the value. I'm too much ready to wait because it's a better deal. So they're after today. One. Then two, you can multiply your values. Sometimes they say, we are not working hard. You might be working hard, but you are not working smart. So you need to find out that people that have made it, how did they make it? When I started to serve somebody else outside of Nigeria, in Dubai, I heard that people started to talk about me. Like, you have finished building a brand, you have turned to an agent somewhere else. For Christ's sake, I'm still richer than you. Do you understand? So, are you seeing the problem? But what did I do? I multiplied my efforts. So when Naira was depreciating, my money was appreciating. But somebody will not do that because I don't want to now become agent of a company. Who cares? I don't care. I'm looking at the bottom line. And I'm also helping those people that cannot go there. I become their messenger. And I'm going to give them value. And I'm being paid for the value. So sometimes it's a concept of understanding what money is, how to make money, how to farm money, how to multiply money, and how to spend money. So if you don't have the entire concept, you will struggle. Then another big thing is, why do you want to make money? You want to make money for your family and your children? You can't be very wealthy.
No, really?
Yeah, because that's too small, a vision. You want to make money to eat? Don't worry, I'll send you food. That's too much small for a vision. I was talking to my people when I was coming here. I said, next year birthday, can I feed 10,000 people? Once you start thinking of feed, I said, how much is a plate of rice? When you do the calculation, your head will start working in the night when people are sleeping. So money is as a result of, what do I need money for? You want to make money for yourself? It's because you have not made money. When you make money and really have money, you find out that money doesn't give you fulfillment. The only money that gives you fulfillment is the money working in the life of another person. So when we say farm money, we are saying, what's the purpose of farming money? Because if you don't have a purpose, you can't farm a lot of money. You'll be in a hurry.
Yeah.
Are you understanding that? So it doesn't matter your job. It doesn't matter what you're doing. As long as your vision is bigger than you and your family, you will have ideas that will bring money to you. And that's the way, will I say, the law of the spirit works. There is a law of wealth. I was with some young guys today. I was trying to build one thing, and I just made up my mind. I said, you know what? The guy that was building it for me in Dubai, I didn't like what he was doing. I was just like, so I already saw what I was going to do with it. I entered into a room. because of what I can see and the value it's going to bring and the people that are going to be blessed with it. I entered into a room, brother. Everything that I needed was in the room. From the tech lawyer to the tech people to everybody that knows what they are doing. And I'm like, how did I enter this room? Because the vision is bigger than me. So making money or farming money is first for once, ask yourself, what's my vision? I only got into real estate because the vision was bigger than me. I could have been very comfortable in Okrika because a lot of people are still doing the business.
Yeah.
If I go to Katangwa now, I might still miss some of my customers. So why did they not leave Katangwa market? Because they had small dreams. I left because I was hungry for more. I went to the shop, I was hungry for more. And from the shop, I was selling paint, I was hungry for more. Enter real estate, I was hungry for more. From Nigeria real estate to buy real estate, because I'm still hungry for more. Why am I hungry for more? So that I can be relevant. So for you to be able to be wealthy, for you to be able to farm money, is to be disciplined enough to know that your life is bigger than you.
There's a video you made that has been trending about how, you have multiple videos that trend. Sometimes people disagree with you, sometimes people agree with you. But one video that I want to talk about is when you said that, you cannot be somebody that comes from a poor background and you're trying to get lessons from somebody that is from a rich background. That if you are somebody from a poor background, you have to learn from somebody that was poor like you and made it. Do you want to...
I'm not... That video, I will talk about it. I am ready to anywhere because... I'm not saying you cannot learn. I said the principles might not work.
Yeah.
So I came from Edo State. I've gone to a lot of conferences, and people say, in this conference, I went to school in Oxford University. When I came back, I met my uncle. My daddy took me to my uncle, and my uncle said, "Oh, no, you run real estate. I have one project in Ikoyi that you can go and manage." No, who took me to your uncle? So you have that kind of information. Brother, how does it help me? Because in your thought process, you went to Harvard. You met people in Harvard. Maybe you met people in Oxford. They are now your classmates. So in their position, you can call and say, hello. Have you noticed that people do conferences and you find that all the speakers are from the same school?
Mm-hmm.
If you break into that cycle, it's because you now look like them.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I if you can quote me wrong, I said, those principles, how will somebody that came from Epoma use that principle to be rich in Lagos? Because it does not have an uncle, it does not have a father that has a name. So, who is going to open the door? Because when I came to Lagos, maybe because of what happened to me, when I dropped my CV, they say, who is my father? His name is not on Google. So, I'm not saying that. It might be difficult because those principles are good for my children. Because my children should not know that even if Grace Ofure has something, I did not look at my Grace Ofure, I now went to. But guess what? If you go to a place now, once you knock and say, when I came here, when they say, Grace Ofure, people are greeting me. So if my daughter comes here and say, I'm Grace Ofure's daughter, they will greet her way. No, another person should come than the mother. I'm serious. So even if I don't give her money, I've given her leverage. Leverage of personality. So that's what I said. I said, you should come and learn from us that didn't have any leverage, no personality. Come and learn to sell Okrika first. After you sell Okrika, maybe it will not help you to have some money. You do another thing. Then maybe that one will not help you to meet somebody. When you meet the person, I will not teach you what I did in real estate. When I met anybody that had money, I will say, oh God, don't pay me money. Let me go and make money for you first. When I bring your profit, you can give me inside. Because if you don't listen to me, you might listen to the people that said that we met in the airplane, we finished the transaction, and you will get it wrong. Because the reason why they will allow you to finish the transaction, because they know you, they know your father. If you run away, they will catch your father. But you now, there is nobody to catch. So you have to now come with my strategy to say, sir, can you just trust me? All the profits I will give you. But when I give you profit, you can give me something. That is what made me.
The question that I wanted to ask is, somebody listens to what you're saying and just feels like, she's just saying this. But, she started in a different time, in a different economy. Yeah. The economy has progressively gotten worse. How do you respond to that?
Says who? I said, you don't have a job. So let me give you an idea. A lot of people just come to places and say, I have a business idea. And I'll give you one that is I want to open a poultry. And you walk up to Grace and say, I want to open a poultry. It's a fantastic idea. The first thing I'll ask you is, how many eggs have you sold? How many people have poultry in Nigeria or Lagos? A lot of people. What are they looking for? Customers. If you can sell 500 crates in a day times 30 for somebody else, that means you have the market chain of 500 times 30. It means that the day you open a poultry, you already have customers. So why are you going to hurry to open a poultry?
So instead of opening, why don't you help somebody else?
So I don't understand. What's changed? It's just that you are trying to do what you cannot do when you don't have the capacity to do it. Go and learn how to sell. I'm still selling. There's one thing that you can learn that can make you a billionaire without a product. It's sales. Even this your JA. You need sponsors.
Yeah.
I don't need to have JA. I go and look for people and tell them how that JA can move them forward. And I say, JA, kill and divide. You are the one talking. I don't need to talk. What's that? Value. If I even see that my value is better, I will say, I'll take 80, you give you 20. He said, why? I said, no, then I will take my people to another JZ. Okay? Then you start to negotiate now. Because I've come with a value you cannot reject. So how did the economy change? You just make your value bigger, like I said now. So I will say, okay, you cannot give me 60%, no problem. I will try another FM. Because I'm the one carrying the customers. So what are you carrying? What are you carrying on the inside of you that you have brought out as your currency? So when you walk up to me and say you're looking for money, where? A place that have too many problems. How do you look for money? When I was trying to go to London, and I went somewhere, and I saw chairs, I sat down. The guy said, oh God, madam, it's 200 naira. And I'm like, for what? Say for sitting. And in my place, the 3 people sat, that's 600. When I came back, I said, anybody that does not have money, that's your business. Because there is too many things to make money from in this country. If you just go outside, then there's a problem. What is money? Money comes to solve. Money gravitates to problems that you have solved. In my presence, the guy collected 3 people. The one my husband sat down, plus my children. By the time I was leaving, I helped him to calculate his money. Because I see money in everything. And I'm like, if he rented that chair, calculate how much is rent of 20 chairs. And how much did he collect from one? And guess what? The embassy has 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Sometimes with that 8 o'clock, we don't go. 9 o'clock, people will come and sit down. But somebody else came to that embassy. Nigeria is a problem. I'm not saying they're not a problem. But that other person said, no, this is a problem. I can make a living. And before you know, he will go to one embassy, to the next embassy. He will not go to something that has that kind of issue again. What is he doing? He's creating a solution for a problem that the government did not solve. If the government did not solve a problem, it's your profit. Create a solution from the profits.
All right, to wrap up this conversation, I mean, I could go on and on. There's so much. We obviously have to get you back. Hopefully you indulge us and you come back. What would be your final word to somebody that has been inspired by what you've said? But, it's one thing to listen to somebody and get inspiration. There are so many conferences happening now. People are learning, masterclass, this and that. But people are not able to put what they have heard or what they've learned into action. And one thing that we learn from you is that you're a person of action. You have an idea. You want to do it. You have something. You are going for it. How does somebody take these words in the next few seconds and put it into action?
One of the things that really stop people is fear. And one of the things I help people to shift their mind that there's no failure in anything is a process. So as you are fired up now, 2 things are happening to your mind. The mind is so deep, it can make you or money. So your mind is telling you, don't do it, or you will fail. Another one is telling you, try. See, whether you fail, it was a process. Once you believe that it's not failure, it's process. I had to So let me tell you, my car, I don't know what the driver did. So, but I have to be here. So I jumped into another car. So people won't do it. Because they'll just go here and say, you know what, I can't enter this kind of car, the kind of car I'm driving. No. That didn't work. And the second car I entered is a process for me to get here. So I don't care. So you have to have this kind of mindset that Grace Ofure has that says, whatever happens, it happens. I will get to J.
J on air.
J on air. So I'll get to J on air.
Yeah.
So whatever I'm going to do to get to J on air, that's a process. So somebody could have seen me that and say, Grace Ofure, I don't. That's a process to get to J on air. When you say it like that, your mind will not hold you back on that decision that you have taken. You have to beat your mind to it and say, whatever you think you are telling me is a process for me to be big.
All right. I usually wrap up with, Jay's Steak, but I think that she has said everything. And I'm sure that when we put this on YouTube tomorrow, Jay on Air TV, when you watch and rewatch, you want us to bring her back. Now you people are calling. I'm not going to take your calls because when I say we should call you, we did not call. My take here is that there are a lot of issues here in Nigeria, but from what you've heard from the story of the money farmer herself, Grace Ofure, there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of problems, and with problems come solution. If you want to make profit, if you want to make impact, you need to be a solution. So the question is, what solution can you provide for the problematic society that we're living in? That is something you need to think about. That could be what will take you from point A, not might. That will be what will take you from point A to point B. We have Journey Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 p.m. right here on 80.5 UFM, and of course, on YouTube, on J on Air TV. Of course, she's also across social media platforms. Once you Google Grace Ofure, everything is going to come out. So I don't need to say more than that. Thank you so much for coming again. We appreciate you. We hope you come again. All right, that has been today's episode. Enjoy the rest of your evening.